very much in favor of the counting of points.
Does it work for you? No.
Welcome back to the 2024 U.S. Figure Skating Championships, brought to you by Prevagen. Welcome to the run-through.
Is that the
Are
opening?
we starting? I'm one of your hosts, Ashley Wagner.
And I'm also one of your hosts.
Are we starting?
Adam Rippon. Oh yeah, that was the opening of this episode.
That was it.
Okay, great. I'm here too.
Yeah.
Hi.
Well,
Welcome
then
back
this
to
is the
the
perfect
podcast.
opportunity to welcome back to the podcast, not Olympic champion, Sarah Hughes. Sarah, did you know that my husband met your sister this weekend? And by sister, we mean actual Olympic champion sister, Emily Hughes.
Yeah, it was my first time hearing that I had a sister from your
Alex-
husband.
Alex
First
came
time
up
hearing
to
it
me.
from her husband.
Yeah, he came up to me and he was like, I met Sarah's sister and we had a long conversation. And I was like, no, you didn't. It's not the Sarah you think it is. And he was like, oh, no, I did it, didn't I? I mixed them up. Yes, this is Olympic champion sister Emily Hughes, who, by the way, we need to get on this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, she did mention that she would volunteer her time. It would be a volunteer position she would be taking on as a guest.
She's aware.
Yeah, she is aware. And if it is not evident, we are all suffering a bit from a coma that we're coming out of from being at nationals. I think I am feeling out of sorts today, if I'm going to be honest. I'm feeling out of sorts.
Well, sleeping 12 hours will do that to you.
What the medical community calls a lot. Much sleep. Many sleepings.
I miss the constellation projection light from our hotel rooms. We stayed in a star-themed hotel in Columbus, which was lovely. And all the rooms had this like little star projector that you could put onto the ceiling and sleep under the stars. And I miss that.
No, it was cute. It did drive me into a medically induced vertigo because it would just be like this constellation kind of spinning on the ceiling. And what I did love about the hotel was that every time we would like go up to our rooms, I would say good night to the people who were working at the front desk. And every time they would go, at this hotel, we don't say good night. We say happy stargazing. And, I love that. And I'm not ever going to say good night to anyone
Well, you loved
anymore.
it so much that you bought hotel merch.
I did. I was given, did I tell you this? I found this envelope in my room, like in the candy, like, you know, where they have like all of like the little drinks. I had this envelope in my room that said, thank you for staying with us. And in the envelope, it had a coupon for 2 free drinks at Starbucks and a t-shirt. But I found
You
it
got
as
a
I was
t-shirt?
Oh yeah. I found this envelope when I was checking out.
They
I never
gave
noticed
me this
it.
and I got a candle.
Oh, well, they probably
I
looked
know.
at me and they were like, he should be wearing something different.
Well, I didn't get any of these things.
Well, I got you the Starbucks I got you in the morning was courtesy of the hotel.
Oh,
So you
that's
got a
nice.
drink.
And here I was thanking you for getting it for me.
No, I didn't. I mean, I'm
This is the first I'm
messenger.
hearing that.
Yeah, well, don't shoot the messenger, me. Actually, shooting the messenger, I have a question. I have a game right up at the top. Now, there's a lot to talk
Okay.
about on this podcast today. A lot has gone on. Obviously, we'll talk a bit about nationals, but there's a huge story going on in the world of figure skating, which is the world that this podcast is based in. Not reality, figure skating.
No.
And we're talking about
2 very different things.
Yes, very different people, very different worlds. So, in light of the ruling from the Sport Court of Arbitration on the Kamila Valieva case, I'm going to give you a quote, and I want you to tell me which country this quote is coming from. Okay? Understood?
Okay.
Now,
Yes.
the first quote is, "Scoundrels and lawless people. Of course, an appeal must be filed against this decision. You have to fight scums
I read
using
this
their
one.
own methods." Now, I have a question. Is this Skate Canada talking about the Russian Federation coming away with bronze, or is this the Russian Federation talking about losing the gold medal? Could be either or.
Oh,
No, it's the Russians.
it's the Russians. I immediately was like,
Scoundrels?
this is...
Come on. Canadians saying scoundrels? They would never. No.
They would never.
No.
Yeah.
They won't even call their own skaters scoundrels when warranted.
No.
But
And that is true.
Russians.
It is the...
Final answer.
Yes, I accidentally almost played the Star-Spangled Banner. I did mean to play the correct answer chime, which Freudian slip. Now,
Yeah.
there's
Because
one more
the correct
quote.
answer is Team USA
Yeah, it is
winning the
nation
gold
of,
medal.
of freedom. Yes. Now, one more quote. This will be the end of the game. You guys are tied up. I think this might end in a tie. Now, if there are any opportunities to challenge and continue to defend the rights of our athletes, they must be mobilized to the end. Was this Skate Canada or was this the Russian Olympic Committee?
Canada?
This feels like the Russian Olympic Committee.
Okay, in a shocking turn of events, Ashley does come away with the win because it is the Russian Olympic Committee. Yes, it's Dmitry Peskov. He is saying they should defend the rights of their athletes who were using illegal substances in competition.
Well,
Yes.
this is how you knew it was the Russian Olympic Committee, because they were talking about rights. They were talking about the individuals and defending. It felt very Russian right off the bat, because it talked about just things that they didn't actually consider themselves when ingesting elderly heart medication.
When ingesting, yes. Because and you do it, that does make me think that because famously when they did find out someone on their team did have a doping violation, the immediate reaction of some of the coaches was, well, it could be anybody.
Yeah, all of the coaches were worried because that could have been any of their athletes.
Yes, because and that's how it works. Because truly, if someone does test positive for a substance, it could be anybody. But it
wasn't.
But it wasn't.
It was one specific somebody.
Right. They couldn't figure out whose grandfather it might be, but then they did figure it out in the end.
Right. They were like, damn it, which one of us messed up the timing of our tea kettle meds? What are we going to do? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Is that the game?
That is the game, and Ashley does come away with the win.
Shockingly.
Wait,
win.
in what way?
She comes away with the win because you
I
guessed
didn't
that
submit
the rights
an
of the
answer
athletes.
for the first one.
She didn't
Oh.
answer the first or the third one.
There were 3?
There were only 2.
Well, I answered the first one. And in my
All right.
mind, there was a third one that I also answered.
Well, then that would be 2 out of 3. So Ashley, I am
Yeah, well,
sorry.
I got 1 out of 2.
I'm starting to understand how the Russians feel if you take away this title that I didn't deserve in the first place.
Okay. So I am shocked that we actually did get some sort of ruling when we said we were going to get one, because I was absolutely sure that they were going to file for an extension, as someone might do. I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, but also at the same time, it's like at a certain point, you have to make this decision, and they kept on filing for an How many extensions can you file for?
I don't know if that's like if
I mean,
they
I
really
think they
file
can
for an
do
extension. I'm just
whatever
thinking
they
about
want.
what people
Like
do for taxes.
Right. What I'm saying is, like, how often can you push this back? There's only so many tactics before it's like you've explored every option. You've used every excuse you possibly can to, like, give yourself time to gather information or whatnot. I don't know how the court system works, clearly.
Well,
That being
and it's
said,
not a traditional court. It's like
Right.
they don't, like, there's not. I think they could have pushed this for a long time. I wouldn't consider this being like we got it when we thought we were, because we thought we were going to get it like August of 2022.
And here
Right.
we are, January
which made me think
2024,
it's going to be
celebrating.
years. But okay, we had this moment of like, oh my God, they actually gave us this answer. And then the ISU said, hold on, we weren't ready for this news. Give us a second, let us collect our thoughts, and then we'll tell you what we think we're going to do. And what they have decided is that they're just striking out Kamila's results, and that Russia will now be the bronze medalist, not the gold medalist. So they're counting the results of all the other skaters. I have a huge problem with this.
Huge. It kind of feels like they're like, wait. We still haven't actually figured out how to make sure that Russia still ends up on the podium so that we don't make people mad.
And now everybody's mad.
And now everybody's mad.
Like, okay, so I have read a lot of rules today. First of all, the ISU not being prepared with a statement for any possible scenario 2 years later
insane.
Is so embarrassing for them.
Okay. Sarah, we were traveling together yesterday, and so obviously, as all of you know now, Sarah Hughes works at NBC. She's the president of NBC Sports Olympics. She's the president of the IOC.
That too.
But what you were telling me yesterday was you have 5, 6, 7 statements prepared for every single situation when it came to this case. Sarah, go on.
Well, and I think that's how any professional organization should operate. This may have come as a surprise that, like, first, by the way, even if you weren't prepared before last week, it was being reported credibly like 3 days ago that this was going to come on Monday. So you should have been
you had time to
ready
prepare
on Monday.
Something.
It was just, that was so crazy to me. Like, that's not like the largest issue here, obviously, but like that was crazy. And I just can't imagine how you're not ready. Other than maybe needing to confer with the IOC, who should also have been ready. It just seems like they all would have had all these conversations.
It's confusing why they're scrambling. It's really confusing how they're figuring it out on the fly when it's like they should have had multiple scenarios lined up and they should have been ready to go. And that's what makes it feel like they're just making this shit up as they go along, which then ends up making everybody mad because you have Canada who's like, how are we not being awarded a medal here? And they can't really explain it because it just seems like we're playing a game of make-believe where it's just, this was what we think we're going to do now. Like, it just doesn't feel like it makes sense.
Athlete into the event who tested positive. It's a team event. Yes, you compete as an individual, but it's a team event. Someone on the team was cheating. The team should be disqualified. The team should not be allowed to be included in these final results in this team event. It's a team.
Okay. I am going to say that the rules allow for them to do what they've done in terms of counting the dance pairs and men's results still.
Okay.
Because the way that the anti-doping rules are written, there is a section of them that says if the doping team member doesn't affect the performance of the other team members, then those team members can keep their results. Now, whether we think that's fair or not is a different question. But in that sense, they have followed their own rules. I don't know that that loophole should exist, to your point, Adam. I don't know that a team that has a member that's cheating should get a team result at all. But I'm saying that they have followed. Whereas by deleting Kamila's results and not moving all of the other women up in the standings, they are not following their own rules. And like the rules specifically state that anyone who finished below a disqualified competitor will move up accordingly.
So now,
if they reallocated the points, Canada would be getting the bronze medal. And now Canada has decided to come out of the silence that it's been keeping for 2 years to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
now,
they were taking the stoic approach for
my
sure.
Playing devil's advocate hat is on, as you can see. It looks very cute on my head. And when I'm asking this, so in theory, they can say, well, we have reallocated the points because there's one less competitor, there's one less point to be gained for the
I see
other
what
women.
you're saying with that.
So can they say that? That like, well, no, like
I mean,
now
but
that
that wouldn't
Camilla's
make a
out,
difference,
that
though.
is, does
that
the rule
wouldn't-
say that in the women's event, a first place will get this amount of points, a second place will get this amount of points?
It does say that. It says
So-
that in the rules. It says
so-
first
Yeah.
place equals 10 points, second place equals 9 points. It's literally written out all the way down.
Then
So
there's
even if
no-
there's nine
there's no leg
people,
to
it's
stand on with
yeah,
that.
there really isn't.
Yeah, it is literally written out that clearly. First gets 10. So what they've decided is, they're going to keep Maddie Schizas in second. Or sorry, in third.
Right.
With no result for first. If she's still getting 8 points, she should be getting 9 points.
Right.
So the whole thing doesn't make sense. And the actual team event rules, they do this in this weird way where a lot of the team event rules are written into the pre-Olympic qualification document, not into like the rule book. But the qualification document that has the team event rules says they're going to follow this rule 353 in the rule book, which is what Canada is citing as not being followed here.
Right.
So I don't know how they reached this conclusion. I just have no
Yeah.
idea how they got here. And the only thing that makes sense, and I don't think this even makes sense, but it seems like this like willful misinterpretation of their own rules in order to placate Russia.
Well, and
I
also,
do not understand the need at this point to continue to stroke the ego of this country that Olympic Games after Olympic Games has demonstrated that they don't give two shits about the rules.
but also
and
wasn't even allowed to compete under their own flag at this games because of a
the last
state-sponsored
few
doping
games.
program that they that
Yes.
was flourishing at
Like,
their own
truly-
host Olympics.
when
Yes.
was the last time we heard the Russian anthem at an Olympics? Was it in Sochi? When did they get those privileges taken away?
No, it wasn't. It was in Sochi.
Yes.
That's insane. And you're still trying to be like, don't worry, we got
Actually,
you. You
I'm
get
trying
your
to
medal.
remember. Maybe some
Was it
Russians
summer?
were allowed to compete in Rio, but they definitely have. We have definitely not heard the anthem since then at the Olympics. I think in Rio, maybe they were just banned in certain sports, like track and field had already banned them.
You might be
but
right.
I
You might be
think
right.
The whole system had not come down yet. So
But also,
it's
this
been
is-
almost 10 years since we've heard the Russian anthem at an Olympics.
But then you also, I've been looking at various Russian athletes' Instagram posts, and I wanted to understand their narrative, and it's just this victim mentality where
Yeah.
they're like, this is so suspicious. Why did her drug results come out after the team event? This is clearly a setup. Makes you think twice. And it's like, it makes you think twice. No, your doping testing program lost all trust. And so all tests had to be sent out of the country, and Russia did not flag her tests as rush order important. And so here you go. Your country is still continuing to act suspicious, and then you get affected in this way. The poor me mentality is driving me insane, because it's just like, if you're not going to see that you're doing something wrong, you don't deserve to come back and compete.
But that's how everybody's drug test results work. That's how they work. They get sent out to a lab, and then you get the results weeks later. That's how everybody's.
Well,
when you get drug
RUSADA was not
tested-
allowed to test their own specimen samples. It had to be sent to Finland.
Yeah, it was like Finland or Sweden it went to.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Same thing.
In the vein of poor me, I do want to say to a large degree, poor Kamila.
Poor Kamila.
Poor Camilla.
This is a really, really harsh punishment for someone who was so young when it was happening, and who I'd imagine it would be hard to prove that she knew anything about anything that was happening to her.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to know you can say this is the right thing and it deserves to happen, but also be like, this poor girl. Both can exist, and you can feel both at the same time. And she's part of a system. It's not like she's the random one athlete. She is part of a system that has been in place for season after season, Olympic Games after Olympic Games. And it's always, some athlete is highlighted, but it's not just one athlete. There's no way it's just one athlete.
Well, and if you're 15, like you're
How
too
do you
young.
know any better?
Even if she knew, you're too young to. I mean,
Right.
It's like if you think about rules of consent, like she's too young, and I don't know. The whole thing feels just so messed up.
Well, the position of power of the adults around her.
And it makes me so sad for all of those Russian athletes, especially even seeing these posts of support for Kamila. Obviously, like we're all saying, like, I feel badly for this poor young girl who's in this situation, but I think of all of these other athletes where I'm like, you don't realize you're being set
used.
up. They're being
You're
told
being
that
used.
they're working with these doctors, and they're just being told that these are the things you need to
These
take.
are your
and these are the
vitamins
things you
that
need
you're
to
taking.
do. It's so unfair, and they are so brainwashed. I mean, here, Ashley, we are urged not to take a multivitamin. We're told to, like, be really careful around poppy seeds. Like,
don't drink a protein shake that's already been made. Know what you're putting in your body, because if you have any positive test, you are done.
Yeah.
And it makes you scared,
really,
and you're just,
you're just drinking water and eating pork chops.
We don't even
Before
have.
you're
I mean,
50.
I don't think the U.S. like anti-doping culture and sport culture even has sympathy for people who it was an accident.
It doesn't.
Oh,
It's just like, nope, the test was positive.
I remember when Jess Callalang tested positive, and she went as far as to investigate.
Oh yeah, because it was a makeup thing, right?
It was makeup. It was makeup, and it wasn't on purpose, but she was still affected.
And it took forever for her to be able to prove that it was an accident and prove that it was like she didn't know, that it wouldn't show that it was in that product and all that stuff. Yeah.
And it was just, it was still like a no excuse, no like anything. It was just like, and this was like a U.S. anti-doping test. This was like an in-house thing, and it was just, she was just not allowed to compete. Okay, the other thing I wanted to say was, okay, they're using, I just feel like the same logic isn't being used for these results in the women's and the final result, because like, the logic they're using in the women's is that the first place is just gone. Right? So if that same logic was to be used, that would mean that there should just be no gold medal. So they're using different logic for the assigning of the medals than they are for like how you accumulate the points for the final result. So it's not even the same sort of. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not.
Well, they're just making it up as they go along. I don't think they've truly had a plan for what comes next, which is crazy to me because it's 2 years later.
I mean, that's what's crazy is that, we as people who follow the sport had thought through every possible scenario in a way that they could reallocate these medals seemingly before they thought through them. And then you end up like, I had thought through the scenario of like, if they decided to remove the Russian Olympic Committee completely from the standings and recount all the disciplines, that Japan would have won gold. They could have done that too.
Right.
Like, and there's this, or they could do it this way, where they take out Kamila's result and reorder the women. Or they could just take out the Russian Olympic Committee and move everyone up without any reordering. But they've done some weird hybrid of all those things that ends up in an unfair result for multiple teams.
Well, I mean, they did what was
mostly
best
for Canada,
for the Russians.
but it's
They
also
did what was
unfair
best
for
the
ROC
Russians.
to get a bronze medal.
And to be honest, I think the U.S. athletes would be completely fine if they still walk away with silver and the Japanese team did walk out. And that's the thing. I think like
just give them a medal.
They want
at this
a
point.
fair competition, and if that
and a medal
would have
ceremony.
And a medal ceremony. And they should have a medal ceremony at an Olympics. I don't think that
Paris.
this is going to be...
I think it should be in
It's
Paris.
not going to be
should not.
sorted out by Paris.
You don't think so?
No, because, I mean, Russia is going to appeal the result, and Canada should sue the ISU. It's a case that just it will not hold up in court. That can't hold up in court. They're not following their own rules.
Yeah, but what court? This court plays by their own rules as well, it seems like.
I mean, with the
the Russian Olympic Committee has really limited appeal options. Once CAS has made a decision like this, the only way that you can appeal a CAS decision is on procedural grounds, to basically argue that something was done wrong in the procedure. You can't actually like say, no, we want to like retry the evidence. Like, you can't do that. So like they would have to find something that was done wrong in the process of this hearing over the course of the last 2 years.
God,
in
Ashley,
order
isn't
to
it
even
so nice to
appeal.
have somebody who knows the rules here?
That's really nice.
This is so refreshing.
I've been telling Sarah that she should be a lawyer for quite some time, and she's only just underscoring my point.
Yeah, well, Ashley joins my mother in thinking I've unmet potential. So,
Well, that's a nice kind of group of people. I love your mom.
And on that note,
I love her too.
So, Sarah, what do you think it looks like for where does Skate Canada go from here?
what do they do?
What
Where
court
does
do
their
they bring it
campaign
to?
start? Yeah,
well, Skate
the
Canada
Supreme.
can bring it to CAS, the same body that just tried this out for Kamila. So they
Okay.
could bring it to CAS and say that the ISU is not applying the rules correctly or
I mean,
fairly.
they should.
And
Which
then they would have
aren't.
to go through a whole case about that specifically, which shouldn't take as long as this
Right.
has taken, because they're not trying to like prove something did or didn't happen or whatever.
Right. This is more. There is language that has already been written down, and it's just really sorting out whether or not it's being followed appropriately.
I think that
Yeah.
we realistically could possibly see the medals being awarded in Milan. I think that just how long everything takes, even just the filing and the procedural things, I think Paris might be a little too quick. We're a few months away from Paris. I think
Yeah.
Milan could be a realistic ceremony.
Well, Madison Chalk told the press today that they are thinking about Paris as an option for a medal ceremony. So there was a press conference today that Maddie and Evan did with Sarah Hirschland, who's the CEO of the USOPC, and Tracy Merrick, the CEO of US Figure Skating. And so they all kind of spoke a little about this. Madison said that Paris is a scenario that they like the idea of doing that. They want to get their medals in an Olympic environment where they can feel the energy of an Olympics.
It
There should be
needs
no
to
doubt.
It
There's
needs
no
to
doubt.
be at an Olympics.
Right, like they don't want to do
award
it
them
at
in
like
their
a
home
world
country.
championships
No,
or something.
No.
They want
no,
they
no.
want to be at a
They
games.
deserve that.
And Sarah Hirschland said that they haven't ruled out any possibilities, and including the possibility that not all the teams have to get their medals at the same time.
Oh, I would want them to all get them at the same time, though. It'd feel the most normal.
Right.
Would
So
you want to
they're
get your
saying-
medals in a ceremony with ROC?
But they shouldn't get a medal.
But what if
Right.
they do?
Then I would create a scene. Here's the stage. It's Olympic. The stage is Olympic, and it's me. And it's me pointing down going, no.
Shame.
No, it's me.
Shame.
It's me locking arms with Maddie Skeezus and going, I don't care she stole a dress. You stole her medal. You drove her to this point.
Yeah, she thought, you steal my medal, I'm stealing a random girl's dress.
Well, and I think
It's the only revenge.
I think it's the only revenge that she took on America.
That's true. Okay, well,
And we're
I'm
on that note.
Look, the ideal scenario, I think, would be that they resolve this relatively quickly, and that the US and Japan and Canada get their medals in Paris.
Yep.
That
I'm
would
rooting
be
for that.
a
I'm
great
rooting for
scenario
that.
for everyone.
I fear you might be right, though, Adam. Which would be, it'd be nice, it'd be poetic for it to be a Winter Olympics if it comes down to that. I hope it's just like,
But I also think, okay, let's say that the results stay as the ISU proposes. Do you really think the Russian athletes are gonna go? They're not. They are not going back to the Olympics. They're not giving back the medals.
They're not even allowed to compete in Paris.
Oh yeah, they're not.
Their
gonna be at
country
that
is like
ceremony.
basically banned from these Olympics.
right,
Not completely,
they would
but
be
basically.
doing their own equivalent of saying, no,
No, they would have a
Maddie
celebration the
skis us,
same
and
day
you
in
wouldn't
Red
even
Square.
have to link arms. They wouldn't be there.
No,
Yeah,
you
I
know what
mean-
they're going to do? They're going to do what they did for the Averina sisters after rhythmic gymnastics in Tokyo, where they gave them gold medals in a ceremony at home in Russia,
Yeah,
even
This
though
is
they
insane.
didn't win gold.
right. And one of them
Not both
wasn't
of
on
them,
the podium.
but the one who was like they thought should have gotten gold. They held
Whatever.
like a whole
I don't
ceremony
care
for her.
because you know what? They're not real. They're
Yes.
not real, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, they're not going to. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if there is another
In the
ceremony,
history books,
that
no.
must be what they're alluding to. That if this result goes forward, not all the teams need to be present. So it sounds at this point that
Maybe.
the Japanese
true.
like Olympic Committee and the US Olympic Committee are seemingly on the same page of like, yeah, we'll take the gold and the silver. And right now it seems that like if that is the result that moves forward, they're both willing to move forward with that podium.
I really hope that Skate Canada causes more drama. They've been so quiet over the last few years, and Team USA has been doing a full-on press tour, dramatic performance, demanding their medals, which I appreciated.
Me too.
I
Empty boxes and sad faces.
Oh, so stoic.
Title of app.
Wait, this has actually so
Empty
good.
boxes and sad faces.
This has brought out the best in figure skating Twitter. This was one of my favorite posts from today. It is a picture of Beyonce and Jay-Z. And Beyonce is standing in front. It says U.S. figure skating on her body. Jay-Z is like hiding behind. It says Skate Canada. And the tweet says, "Excuse me, he asked for a bronze medal."
Yeah.
That's very.
No,
So
it
good.
has been a good day on
been
Twitter.
so
It has
entertaining.
been a good day on Twitter. Yeah, so I'm not a lawyer, as has been
Should
pointed
be.
out on this podcast.
Should be.
But I have a hard time imagining that if Canada appealed reading these documents, how there would be any interpretation other than the one where the women need to be reordered.
Absolutely,
The only other
especially-
interpretation I could see coming out of that is if they determine, okay, you just need to take Russia out completely and reorder them all.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
No.
I think they have a rule in place in the anti-doping rules that will allow them to still count the other Russian results, and they can lean on that. But I don't know. It's pretty clear that they're supposed to move up a
Canada.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems pretty
And you know, when I'm
straightforward.
thinking team, I am thinking like a relay. But I do
Yeah,
understand
but it
that
isn't
like
a
that
relay.
it's not a relay. So okay, I'm settling down.
Yeah,
but I'm
she
also
does. She
not.
did 2 self-contained performances that affected no one else's performances.
Right,
So that's why the rule is written that way.
right, okay, all right. So
It is crazy that the way that things went down right now, they took out an entire competitor, and
And they still
that still finished
are really
third.
close.
Yeah, that's
top.
I mean, that speaks to that team. And
Well, part of it is like, in theory, if you took out the competitor after the short program, like they wouldn't have made the free skate and wouldn't have had all those points. Like
that's true. Yep.
Like it's a lot of what ifs, but yes, I mean ROC was dominant in that team event. I'm really
she-
happy for the dance
She
teams
would have been
getting
dominant
this medal.
in skating
Yes.
without this medication. That's like the greatest tragedy here is
know.
that she's so talented and genuinely deserves this attention for her gift, and this just takes away from it.
Yeah,
I mean, totally.
What a waste.
And
Yeah,
just
it's a
so-
waste because she's so good
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah,
and
I mean,
still is.
she's still very good, but it's just, you know what's so sad is that like this casts such a dark cloud, an even darker cloud over everybody who comes out of there for the next however many years of, are they that good? Or is it just because they've just found, different potions? It's upsetting. I mean, it makes you rethink everything.
Oh, one thing that I have been seeing a lot of people say is that doping doesn't actually help you out in figure skating. That is not true.
No,
That is
doping
not
helps
true
you
at
out
all.
in
Well,
any
people
sort
think
of
of-
physical field.
People
Yeah.
think of doping as like PEDs that make you stronger, like muscle building PEDs, I feel like most of the time, but that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, medicines that help your blood flow, like
Right.
help your heart rate, help you just do more cardio than humans can normally do.
I mean, exactly. Like if it means that she can train for 8 hours when everybody else is doing 4 over the course of months and years, and it's just being tailored around, being at competitions.
That's an advantage. It's a clear advantage.
You're getting an extra few years of training under your belt in the same amount of time for somebody else.
That's what I needed. I really just needed a few more years of training.
You just needed a few more doses of tryptopazamine compared to your 0 doses that you were taking. You were more focused on your protein. Going, I'm getting a cramp. What did you eat? A pork chop.
I should get some pork chops.
Which brings me to our more lighthearted part of this podcast. We at Nationals were completely, as a group, I'm speaking forever. I am the voice of 3. We were totally overwhelmed and so happy to meet so many of you who listened to the podcast. It was so sweet.
We were shocked. We were shocked that there were so many of you all that came up onto the concourse to meet us. We thought we'd meet a handful.
Wondering if you were there for something else.
Yes, and we kept going, this is so funny, which to us, what we meant was, this is so kind. But we had to mask our emotion with comedy. This is so funny.
I'm uncomfortable with what I'm feeling right now. It's funny.
We had people in the run-through sweatshirts that had the on one sweatshirt, run through on another, turn around. It said Glenn on one back and heads on the other. We won.
That is iconic merchandise. And
yeah, so
I'm wearing my friendship bracelets that somebody made me, with bracelets that say Rosie and not CNN, which I frankly had forgotten that I said that, and NOCSH, which are my initials, not Olympic champion Sarah Hughes.
Legal initials.
And I feel so honored to be wearing them.
Mine said pork chops.
which is why I keep saying a pork chop reference today, because it's blowing my mind. It's like throwing me for a complete loop. That
I've been wearing them. I've been wearing them nonstop, and multiple people have, with no context, wearing a bracelet that just says pork chop is hilarious.
That's true.
But give it context, it's even funnier.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
What doesn't
kill you gives you
put
a
it
cramp.
on a bracelet.
Yeah.
What doesn't kill you makes you win Trophy Eric Bompard.
You didn't win that year.
Guess it killed me. I don't remember what year that was then.
I just remember thinking, maybe you did win. It was too easy to say that you didn't. But here I am trying to strip titles from everyone. That's so me. Also, I just want to say, thank you to everybody who watched our World Feed content. We've gotten so many nice messages. Thank you so much. We enjoyed it. Ashley, I enjoyed doing the World Feed so much with you. And Sarah, thank you so much for all of the research material we were allowed to steal from the main NBC commentators.
It's not stealing. You're part of our
borrowing.
Team. No.
Oh.
Yeah, our producer, we kept on saying over on NBC, and our producer was like in our ears, he's like, you guys are NBC. You don't have to say that. Just say we.
It's just different platforms, but it's all from the same umbrella. But you're welcome. I have not heard a single minute of your commentary. So I heard good things.
Just imagine it went well.
I'm imagining it went well, and I'm imagining people hearing conversations in the background getting picked up on your microphones, because I saw some tweets about that.
Which is actually funny to me.
Yeah, that was completely out of our control. Sorry.
But we'll work on it.
No. This isn't. No.
No. This is not CNN.
It's still out of our control.
It's still not CNN.
kept
still
on
not in
complaining
tech.
about the loud guy in the background. I think the loud guy they were complaining about was Terry Gannon.
Well,
It's
I don't.
probably the
I mean,
first
I don't
complaint
know because
he's
I
ever
wasn't here.
gotten.
Yeah, I don't know because I wasn't hearing it. But yeah, the booths are right next to each other, so it's possible that your mics could have picked up Terry talking.
Terry do his job.
One of the funniest things that would happen is because it's just me and Ashley, we would go back and forth of like who would be the host, basically who would give sort of the bio of the skater and announce the skater as they come onto the ice. And I'm a scientist, started listening to some of what Terry Gannon would do. I went back and watched a lot of like his old things. And Ashley and I kind of found this formula of like what would work. You'd pick a few things and then you would end with, this is whomever the skater is. And sometimes Ashley and I, you could feel like it was going well because you'd be saying something, you'd hear Terry say the same thing. And you'd go, oh, I was really smart to pick these things.
And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm crushing it.
Yes. And then sometimes you would say something and you'd say it like, because, they're like Terry and Tara and Johnny, they're doing like the live show at NBC. So like they're more like, they're, they're shooting around commercials and all of that. Ashley and I are talking all during the entire like dead space, like in the 5 minutes.
We have so much more time to just talk.
So sometimes we would start giving the bio before Terry would. Like we would start talking and then maybe 30 or 45 seconds later, Terry would start doing like the bio. And so one of the funniest things that would happen is that like, let's say Ashley was hosting and she was giving the bio and then she would hear Terry something and then I would hear her repeat exactly what he said, just like in the same tone. And I was like, that's so genius. Just say what Terry is saying. And it would crack me up every single time.
When in doubt, just do what Terry Gannon is doing.
When in doubt,
That's true.
Gannon out.
He's very talented.
He is very talented. What a guy.
I hope that's another bracelet.
Speaking of very talented,
I did my best impression of him for you guys before you started. You were like, what's the best way to skate somebody out? Like, how does Terry do it? And I was like, give me a bio.
We were stunned into silence because all of a sudden, Sarah Hughes transformed into a middle-aged white man with a voice that is just so...
of a generation.
Meant for figure skating commentary.
Yeah. I did my best impression of him. I hope I did him proud. I hope he never hears it.
I will also say that I was shocked at how many rules I knew off the top of my head. That ended up being a helpful thing to know. Rules. That's it.
Rules are super helpful to know.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
You should know them
right.
when you're commentating figure skating.
And you should follow them. Now,
not
onto
required,
the competition.
But
they're not required to follow.
Well, exactly. I mean, and the thing is, like, when you're calling, a ton of skates in a row, like, there are so many little rules in the call, like, in the protocol that come up. Like, there was even one that I didn't.
They broke them all.
Oh, at Nationals, they break all the rules. All of them. And there was even something that came up on the protocols this week that I didn't know. Which I had to look up, which I was like, that doesn't happen all the time. So that was a fun little speed bump.
It doesn't, but Nationals doesn't happen all the time.
But it's hard as you're like actually trying to talk about a skate and trying to make sure you tell some of the skater's story and also leave space to like watch the performance and let it breathe, to also like from memory recall every little rule and like percentages of base values that people get for different things and the amount of GOE reduction for different things and all that. It's just like, it's so much to remember.
And you get in the weeds so fast.
Yeah.
I also, I just want to say one thing. I understand that there are some people who don't like commentary at all. And I just have to say, taking all of us out of like the equation of, I get it, but I love commentary on all programs. And like, I love commentary. I don't know why you wouldn't want commentary. I love commentary. That's it. Just saying what I love.
I think that's really an interesting take. I think that's nice.
I love it because I will tell you some of my favorite programs that I watch, like, if I think of like some of my own programs, yeah, I've watched them. I can like, I think about them, and now like I think of like what Tara said here or what Johnny said here, and for me, the commentators like paint this picture of like they brought more excitement to it. They add a little bit more drama to it, and I never feel like it takes away. I like Tara and Johnny's commentary. I don't think it's like it doesn't take away. I love the British Eurosport guys. They're my favorites.
I love the Eurosport guys. But also, I don't think anyone who tweeted this at us would listen to the run through. But to anyone who ever says, "Will you please shut the fuck up?" Oh, it just adds fuel to our fire.
It's a balance, right? There's a lot you can do as a commentator
Totally.
to enhance the experience, and there are times when commentary is not needed and the moment is better without it. It just depends.
Wait, let's talk about what happened, though. Let's talk about what happened.
Okay.
Go on.
Let's talk about the women's event. We have a new champion that's been crowned.
The Glenheads have been victorious.
It was
at long last.
The Isabarbs versus
the
Glenheads.
Wait, so this is so funny because I read Isabarbs versus Glenheads in a tweet, and I thought it was so funny, and I told it to Adam after we left the venue one night, and then I didn't listen to any of the World Feed commentary because I have to listen to the NBC show because that's the show I work on, and I then later saw a tweet from the same person who is one of my favorite figure skating Twitter follows. And they said, "I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who's ever said Isabarbs. I'm dying." And I was like,
wait,
he must have said it on
like
the air.
We said it on air, and we made it seem like everybody who's ever been a fan of Isabeau Levito
is an Isabarb.
Identifies as an Isabarb.
Well, they do now.
Well, because, listen, you got to build up the drama, as I said, which I felt like to have two fandoms head-to-head, that felt right to me.
Oh, it did. Also, if you're like, how do they get Isabarb from Isabeau? Isabeau is a huge Nicki Minaj fan.
Yeah.
And Barbie.
Yeah.
A barb.
There you go.
Which is actually, frankly, a pretty bad week to be a barb now.
It's a tough week to be a barb.
Yeah.
And
it's a tough week to be an Isabarb.
Isabarb.
Well, yeah. I mean, in fairness to the Isabarbs, it was a good week to be an Isabar in the short program because all of a sudden those spins, the judges were like, "We didn't see anything.
All we saw was perfect."
Yeah.
Done.
What do you mean?
Okay.
She didn't almost fall twice. That's no.
I want to say for the record that when I watched Amber in practice, I kept saying it to like anybody who would listen. The way that she was skating I was like, she's skating like a national champion, but she's skating like a world champion.
She could be Cowrie if she skates the way that she practiced.
Ashley, I was having like these moments of like, I can't believe I'm seeing somebody skate like this, and I'm getting chills. I couldn't take my eyes off her, and
yeah,
I think that I'm so happy for her that she's a national champion. It was great to see her nail the triple axel in the competition, and I need her to focus. I need a clean program. I need that hit. I'm really happy for her. She should have been national champion, all the things. When she popped, what was it, a Lutz? Yes.
And it was supposed to be an axle combination.
Yes.
And then she just stepped forward and didn't take off on the axle. That is when I was like, what are you doing?
Yes. It was like
so many
did
points.
You not do
so
that?
many
That
points
was so
left.
many points.
It was forgivable. Like a double Lutz, not what you're supposed to do, but like, please do
double
the double
axle.
axles.
The
Fight.
two
Fight.
double
Fight.
axles in the second half are worth more than 7 points. Like, that's
Yeah,
crazy to not do those.
Understand that. I didn't, as an athlete, I did not understand how
And
that
I-
happened.
but
Did
could
you maybe?
see-
I do think, but you could see like it was just like
she
she did the double Lutz and was like
Completely.
counting on Isabeau to go clean. So she's thinking, I have lost already.
Right.
mean-
Or like, let me add them later. And you could just see the wheels turning. And like, that's what, no issues. Amber doesn't have any problems
Well,
with
and then
the triple flip.
so then she thinks she's going to add them on the flip, and she gets in her head going into the flip because she's thinking, I got to do these double axles now, and then she pops the flip.
Well, because then
Yeah.
there's just too many things that you're thinking of, like, oh, now I'm ahead, I'm behind. You
Yeah.
had the time to do those 3 jumps. Nothing was like, I just stay in the game. Sometimes I feel like this footwork sequence happens, and it's just too much time for her to think.
You could see it in the footwork. You could see her tightening up in real time and like starting to not be as committed to the choreo in real time as she
Yes.
started to like think to herself, like, don't mess up the second half. And
Right.
I need to conserve my energy so that I don't mess up the second half because that happened once this season already. And it's like, you could just see it. You could see it happening in real time.
Right.
Yeah, you can read a skater when they're like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. I don't want to mess up. And it's like when you stub your toe and you're like, wow, that really hurt. I don't want to stub my toe again. Don't stub your toe. And what do? You're going to stub your toe again. It's like you're so focused on something not happening that it happens.
And, okay, I think, yes. Next, I think Joey Lee was great. I think that
So
she had a
good.
really great skate. I was really happy that she had that great short program after having the bad one last year, because I was talking with Amy, her coach, and Joey was really stressed about it, so I'm glad that she had this great skate. Isabeau.
And also let it be known that she cried off her eyelashes.
And
I did
Amy,
not know that.
Yes, and
Oh.
Yeah.
Amy gave a really good piece of advice, and this is for everyone who's wearing fake lashes. She said, pat, don't pull.
Pat,
When you're
don't pull.
crying,
That's
pat, don't
a-
pull.
No, she said, pat, don't rub.
Well, she should have said pat, don't pull, because that does
But isn't
sound
that what
like,
she said? Didn't she say
Yes.
pat, don't rub? Like, don't
pat,
rub your
don't
eyes,
rub.
pat them.
But pat, don't pull sounds
Yeah, you're
better.
going to rub them right off.
Yeah, which
eyeballs.
happened.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Happy for her.
But your eyelashes can come off, and you can get a silver medal at nationals in your
True.
second time at nationals. Now, Isabeau, okay. One, I just want to say, I hope Isabeau is okay, because these were just like so, like, it was these 3 weird. The first fall, I thought that she was just like over it because everything
Yeah.
was going well after that, but the last 2 is just so bizarre.
Shocking.
It was shocking. I was
It
not
was
prepared
shocking
for them
to
at all.
watch.
But she was in the most difficult position of any of those women. She had everything to lose, and when you're going after a repeat title, you feel that. And I just think you do have to give her the benefit of the doubt, where it's kind of like you make that mistake, and then all of a sudden you feel this title starting to slip away from you. And I just really think it became that she was skating to not lose a title after she made that first mistake, and you can't skate to not lose something. You have to skate to win something. And
But
she
you know
just
what was
didn't
so
channel
weird?
that.
It was like the first element, she was maybe doing that, and then it was like she buckled down and started, like, she wasn't tight or landing weirdly on any of these other elements until she got to that second flip.
Yeah, there was
Like,
something that
everything
happened
looked
at the
fine.
end. There was something that happened at the end, like, because those last 2 falls were just so weird. They were like
Out of character, like
they
totally
were like
out of
they
character.
were like the fall that Star Andrews took in the short program, were like
It just,
fully
she sat
landable
down.
jumps that she didn't land.
Yes.
And Star got off the ice, and her and Derek said to each other, you could hear it on the microphones, like, I just sat down on that one. That's what those Isabeau falls looked like. The last
Well, it
2.
also makes you wonder, though, if maybe in practice those are elements that she does tend to make a mistake on. Although when you watch Isabeau, she just looks so consistent that it's
And
hard
she
to really
is.
say.
I know.
And she is so consistent. And
But I was so, like, annoyed for her. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like she doesn't make those mistakes. But Ashley, you're right that, like, she is in a tough position of trying to defend that
I mean,
title,
look,
and you know,
better here than at the
Yes.
World Championships. Better here than Nationals, the year of an Olympics. Like, if you're going to have a moment like that at Nationals, this isn't the worst year for that to happen.
Yeah.
I hope
And
she
she's
goes
still
out and
going to
competes
Worlds.
again, though. Before Worlds, I would hope that she finds an opportunity just to make go to Worlds, not having that been her last time on competitive
I think
ice.
they're both
feel
going
like
to
that
go to
could-
Worlds with that being their last
yeah.
time.
I mean, where are they going to go?
I guess that's true. Cherry Blossom.
The Ashley Wagner Open.
Ashley's
hosting
holding
it,
an open at the
And guess
Skating
what?
Club
There's
of
only
Boston.
2 skaters, and both of you need to figure your shit out.
You're both invited.
Because I want to see 3 women in Boston at Worlds next year.
We'll be the
that would
judging
be
panel. A 3-person judging panel.
Yes. It's,
Against a 2
hosted
women's
by
competition.
The Run-Through. It's a live episode, and we're going to commentate just
And
2
it's 15
skaters.
minutes long. Okay, the men.
Yeah.
Ilya, great short program. The free skate, we have, there's the curse on this gold medal. This Ilya's Nationals free skate is, I mean, also, I say it's cursed. You're still landing a quad axle.
He needs to feel like he could potentially lose to skate well, and I think that's why when there's competition, he's lights out. But when he could stand in the middle of the ice, I mean, which is not entirely true because not Nathan, Jason almost beat him last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he needs to feel like he's being chased to show up sometimes, and he doesn't necessarily have that feeling here.
It certainly seems that way. Because
That was all of our impression
best
there.
performance
Yeah.
he's ever had at nationals was the year that Nathan was still around.
Yeah.
So he didn't feel like a favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah, being a runaway favorite doesn't seem to agree with him that much.
No.
Although, what did he? I thought didn't he skate really well at Skate America? I mean, maybe that's like lower stakes. Like I don't know.
It's also like the timing of it too, where it's just like
Yeah.
this is specifically a competition that he can have a runaway victory. It's right after a Grand Prix final. It's like Worlds are coming. Like I'm
It's
reasoning.
Not an event for him.
Right.
I don't know.
But you know who it is
It's
for?
not his event.
Camden Pulkkinen.
Oh, yeah. Who's
Who
finally not 5th?
accurately predicted
No, you
would be
did
the bronze
very well.
medalist.
You accurately predicted the podium perfectly.
That's true. Yeah, I'm really happy for Camden, especially because, I think that he was maybe a little surprised to end up in 5th after the short because he skated really well. But I think that ended up being good for him mentally, that he
Yes.
didn't, have the pressure of I'm in 3rd and I need to stay on the podium, but rather you're like we were talking about with Ilya, even like chasing for something can be an easier position to come from. And so he had a couple mistakes in the free skate, but not big ones. And I mean, yeah, I'm really happy for him.
Yeah.
And I was really happy for Max Naumov. I was pleasantly
That
surprised
quad
to see
sow
those
was
gorgeous
insane.
quad sows. The one in the short was like
Yeah.
nuts.
Amazing.
Nutty.
Yeah.
I mean, his jumps are massive.
if he
It's
can get
just
the jumps
crazy.
consistent, he's going to be he's going to be
My-
hard to beat.
The
Yeah.
thing I feel like holds him back with consistency is he has these like roller skater landings. He lands so flat on his feet that I feel like it makes it really hard to hang on to his landing sometimes.
I believe you, having not ever landed a figure skating jump.
Or
Have
a
you ever
roller
seen
skating jump.
Have you ever seen roller skating landings?
I mean,
They're just,
yeah,
like,
a little
so
bit, yeah.
clunky.
Yeah, he is a bit like flat. He's a bit flat in the foot, as they
Yeah.
say in the business. They also
Yeah,
say
but-
in the business that you can have the flu, but you can also win your 5th national title.
That felt like high stakes commentating. We were finding out live on air that they were going to maybe withdraw and they're on the ice in front of us.
Yeah, I gotta say, Evan looked like a
Sick.
ghost.
He looked ill.
Very sick.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was impressed that they made it through the whole thing. Not for like lack of want. I was just like, we've all
Lack
had the
of
flu.
Physical, oh my god.
And I was impressed that they made it through.
And
That
with
being
dance, that's
said-
when it can actually be dangerous, you know?
Yes.
If you're not feeling up to the task, it
With
really is dangerous.
with any of these disciplines.
I
Right.
don't know. If I had the flu, I wouldn't. I don't have enough fight. I wouldn't.
And I don't, for what it's worth, I don't know that they said they had the flu or if they just said flu-like symptoms. But
Whatever it was, he looked not well.
He
I think-
looked like he was hurting.
yeah, I thought it was
who-
interesting that they decided to compete like that.
Yeah. He looked like he was cold sweating the beat face that
You know
Maddie had
what?
put on him.
I feel like they in that moment were thinking, I'm gonna be so pissed that I just didn't like swallow my barf and skate for 4 minutes and just have another national title because I
Yeah.
didn't feel well. Even though in the and that's like a very athlete mentality of like, suck it up so that you're just pleased with yourself later. And I think that like, if it were practice, they absolutely would have been like, I don't feel well. I have to go home. This is bad. But this
Well,
is
they
a
didn't go to
competition.
practice on Friday. The day before, or between the rhythm and free dance, they did skip practice.
No time if you're getting flu-like symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christina
so
and Anthony?
anyway, that happened. Let's talk about Christina and Anthony getting
Yes.
second and Emily and Ian getting third. Oh my God.
I know.
Emily Brady and
And
Ian
being named to the
Somerville
world
are
team.
going to the Milan Olympics.
At
They're
this rate,
so
yes.
talented.
I've got to say this. Ian is
Oh,
one of
wow.
the best skaters I've ever seen in my life. And if there was a river that could freeze over, he's so powerful on the ice, he could be a sled dog and bring everyone from around the world to Milan. He's that powerful on the ice.
I
As a
was
sled
really
dog.
trying to figure out where you were going.
Yeah, I
with
was not
this.
following that visual.
I
but-
thought you were going to say he could get down so deep into the ice that he could get back to the water or something. I'm
No.
not entirely sure. Because
No.
those
No.
knees, that knee bend, those edges
They're
cutting.
so crisp. My God, I've never seen anybody just always be on an edge no matter what.
Not a flat foot in sight.
No,
They're
he's
beautiful.
amazing.
In the practice, I
She
told
is too.
Sarah, yes, they're beautiful. I told Sarah that like watching the free dance, I had to like look away because I was getting this like ball in my throat of like I'm gonna cry. And yeah, I teared up a little bit when they finished the free dance. They're so impressive. I've loved watching them on TV, but when I watched it in person was really when I was transcended.
away.
I was
Yeah,
so blown
they-
away.
Yeah, and just for that to be the outcome after they were left off of the Four Continents team and weren't even alternates for that team is just amazing for them. I'm
It's
really happy
amazing.
that they're getting
I mean,
recognized.
It shows their trajectory and the work that they're putting in, and it's paying off.
Yeah, and I do feel quite bad for Caroline Green and Michael Parsons
Me too.
too, in the same breath as I feel really happy for Emily and Ian. I think it probably was I would have loved to be a fly on the wall as the committee talked about who to send to Worlds, because Green
Oh,
and Parsons were sixth at Worlds last year. I have to imagine there was some consideration being given to giving experience to a young team that they see a lot of potential in the future.
I believe that was most likely the final
What
push of
shows
like,
that for sure.
look at the trajectory of
Yeah.
even just this season. And
Right.
Opportunity down the road for
Because
sure.
this team looks like they could be on an Olympic podium in 6 years,
yes.
to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I agree. I
that's
mean,
probably what they're thinking too.
unbelievable skating. And I loved seeing
yeah.
Charlie and Tanith and Greg.
Ugh, yes.
That was just so great.
At the
And-
boards.
and so many teams and
Well, talk about the like roller coaster of emotions, though, to have one of your teams just completely elated and another team crushed. I mean, that coaching
Having to
coaching ice
navigate
dance
that.
teams that compete against each other has always seemed just emotionally very taxing to me.
oh yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
You have to be a million things at once. And they are, but I just couldn't imagine having to deal with
That's
that.
why
To
it
be
helps for
consoling
coaches to be
one
like
team.
a team of people, I feel like, where they have
Yes.
different
Just one
personalities
person.
to give. And yeah. But Christina and Anthony, second place.
know.
So that was the fastest I've ever seen them skate.
They look
and
really
I think
good.
working with Maddie Hubble has been so good for them, so good for her in particular. You can just see how
The
she's kind of
influence.
come into her own. Oh my god.
Yes.
Well,
Just
what's
loved
crazy
watching
is
them
that,
skate this week.
you know, I think since Anthony was really young, it's always been, you know, has famous ice dance Olympic champion parents, and he has,
Good
you
for
know,
the bones.
sort of a natural gift. And so when they were younger,
Good for the bones.
what?
Ashley said having the Olympic champion parents is just good for the bones.
Well, you would know.
We both
Good
would
bones.
know.
Good bones.
Go on. Sorry to distract.
I don't know what I was talking about.
Well, about Anthony having good bones because of his Olympic parents and her not necessarily having that same lineage.
Yeah.
Skeletal structure.
When they were really young, when they first teamed up, I think it felt like a mismatch skill-wise because he was more he was just more advanced than she was. And at this point, sometimes I'm watching them and I'm like, he needs to catch up to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she
Totally.
has just is like, I mean, the trajectory that she's been on is really remarkable. It's like so fun to watch her perform. And I think he seems to be like jiving really well with the personality of that school in London. Like with Scott, the three of them looked like they were having such a good time all week. Like, you know, Scott is obviously, you know, a lighthearted guy and like is not, you know, too serious. And I think he keeps it light for them and that seems to agree with them. Which I don't know. It just so watching him perform, I feel like they've finally found this like harmony within their school and with each other and with this material where like he seems like he's doing great. She's doing great. Their programs are really good.
I love both of their programs. I think they're packaged so well. They fit them so well. And they've also kind of skated up to them a bit.
Yeah. And shout
I
out
feel like the
to
program's making
U.S.
better.
Championships for having at least 2 Stevie Nicks programs.
Shout out. And
not
also
even
shout
enough.
out to
Samuel
Columbus.
Mindra doing Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, was so
was
good.
Loved that.
The best.
I
That
love
was-
Samuel Mindra. I think
I know.
he's so good.
Yeah,
If he
I
could
really
figure
like
out
him.
Jumping, I mean,
Well, he was hurt.
Skating.
Yeah.
I know, but it was kind of
So.
the same thing last year. I don't forget.
Well, do you know that he wasn't hurt last year? Maybe he was.
last year too. I think he's always hurt.
Maybe. Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to say my Stevie Nicks thing.
No, we loved Stevie Nicks. And we love that she was at the at
Oh
the
yeah,
US
at one point
Championships
in the
here.
arena during like
Oh
an
my
ice
God.
make, Ashley,
This is so
the
funny.
arena was playing Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks, and Ashley goes, "This would be really good skating music. So why don't you do a program to this?" And we were like,
Yeah.
To give context, I'm very aware of Christina and Anthony's rhythm dance. I was thinking of a
You called it. You
woman.
were definitely
I was there.
definitely aware
I was
of it.
thinking of a woman skating to it and just where jumps would go and things like that. And I was realizing it was good skating music for everyone.
It
is what I
is.
should have said.
No, and you know what? Now that we know that, you were right. You were right, and we're sorry
Thank you.
to Stevie Nicks.
Paris happened.
Well, and that's what we said it would do.
Yeah, we
It-
did say
it-
it would.
We said it would
and it
be.
wouldn't. And it would not be.
Here's the thing.
And we were right
It's
about
like-
both.
It's totally like this like transitional year of
Yeah, it's a growth
it's
year.
just like the teams with more experience and who are consistent, they're just not competing anymore. And so
Yeah, these are all newbies. They're either new teams or new teams with someone who's new to the sport.
yeah. So it was a free for all
Yeah.
set.
That's
That being
kind of-
said, 4 continents are next week. Right?
yeah,
They're this week.
they're this week in Shanghai. Remember the famous one-way flight? Not one-way.
Direct.
Yeah.
Stop flight. Direct flight.
4 continents are like starting in
They
like
go
5
to Shanghai
minutes.
and they stay there.
They are.
I mean, not, but that's what it feels like. They're starting, yes, now.
My God.
Practically.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
I'm
yeah,
jet
they're
lagged just thinking
happening,
about
but
it.
a lot of the top Americans decided not to go. Chalk and Bates pulled out. Amber pulled out. Camden pulled out all in the last few days. And then like Ilya and Isabeau had already decided not to go. But Ava Ziegler is the headliner.
So
We'll
I
finally
am
see her
renaming
skate after skipping the U.S.
Nationals.
Championships, which she
Which-
could have won after
Well,
the free skates that we saw.
yeah, but she's like, I'm not going to a competition where you don't make any money. I'm going to the 4 continents where there's a prize pool. So she is going to what I'm now referring the 4 continents to as the Ava Ziegler Open. No, the Patricia Mansfield Open.
Actually, and that's what the competition is going to be called, that we only invite Amber and Isabeau to.
The Patricia Mansfield Open.
Hosted by Ava Ziegler.
By Ashley Wagner.
People don't want to hear from me. They want to hear from Ava, mostly as to where she is.
Well, she's in
She's
China
in
now.
Shanghai.
She's not in Columbus.
No, she's not. Or New Jersey.
Honestly, I think she was just like, I'd rather just fly from Newark.
It's smart travel-wise. Crazy
true.
results-wise, but very smart travel-wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So that's that on that.
Yeah, that's that on that. Yeah.
we are going to be back next week to talk about 4 continents. Because it's happening right now.
In 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
that is, yeah.
That.
We're both, I'm going to just say, we're all a little bit like in a daze right now. Because we all just got home yesterday. I'm feeling like totally like hung over.
Yeah,
Even
I
though,
feel like I'm like
not from
forgetting
drinking,
highlights from the
from
week at
emotions.
Nationals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if we forgot something, our bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't
isn't CNN.
intentional. This
No.
isn't CNN.
It's still
and
not.
this is not NBC.
No, this is
No.
not NBC.
And this is not the world feed. This is the run through.
Yes. And thank
And
you
we'll
all
talk to you
for listening.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.